pencils and that. Yeah. So Scott Morrell kicks off the second half with a short kick, which Cockayne picks up. He's been troublesome in the first half, and he's proven troublesome already in the second. Halifax didn't cover that hole on the 10-metre line. Should have had somebody there. And Rovers looking for the early score in the second half. Stevenson brought down 15 metres away. Hull Kingston Rovers begin the second half leading 26 points away and looking to increase on that. And they're getting ever closer to that Halifax line. Webster, that looked forward to John Fallon. Webster, the drop-off ball back inside to Stevenson. Last tackle. Halifax have held out for 5. And Halifax have managed somehow to save the line. The ball coming out of the hands of Fallon over the line. So it's a let off, but there's 1 or 2 blowing by those Halifax posts. Andy Spink looks to be the worst of the 3. As Clough and Smith get back to the feet, David Wrench tries to bust through a 2-man tackle. Barker hauls him down. Hurst stopped by Webster and Goddard. Short ball to Kirk. Tries to run through Webster. Clough inside. Smith's the dummy runner. Damien Ball gets over the 40-metre line. Wrench gets up. Kirk juggling with that one and then kicking the ball straight into touch. And Dean Lawford making his feelings known on the last tackle to Andy Kirk. A little bit of disorganisation in the Halifax ranks as Fallon's clattered by Wrench and Hurst. Fisher to Morrison, and Andy Spink is off the field. Going straight in for attention. Gallagher's pass looked a little bit forward there. Morrell only just managing to keep hold of it. Stevenson gets the ball away to Fallon. Fallon to Webster. Barker onto Goddard on a hat-trick. But not this time, as Kirk and Haley managed to drag him down. Balls comes loose. The ball's gone on the ground. Last tackle. Webster kicks off the side of the foot. Haley will take the ball. He's not made. Well, slowing the play, the ball down again. Halifax being penalised a couple of times for that. Gibson wanted to get it to play it up quickly. Byron Smith takes a 3-man tackle. Lawford to Damien Ball. Halifax struggling to make ground. Back towards the other end of the field. Ball comes loose, but forward says the referee. So things not going Halifax's way just at the moment at the opening of the second half. Morrison once again drops out to the standoff position. Morrell fires it out wide to Cockayne. Got up and had a second attempt. Illegally say the Halifax supporters thought the ball carrying arm had touched the ground. Squeezed out of the back by Stevenson. This is where Halifax have trouble, but it stops with Fallon. Tackle from Hurst and Ball. Webster running at the defence, gets it to Barker. And Barker is stopped by Lawford, clinging around the ankles. Andy Kirk making sure the ball doesn't go away. Morrell drops the shoulder, looks for support. It was late in arriving. It was Gallagher that was looking for the opportunity. Webster, last tackle. Cockayne shouts a forward pass. Marcus George under pressure from Rivette. Was actually in the air there when Rivette caught him. So that'll be a penalty to Halifax. Adam Hayes back on for Andy Spink. The rain continuing to fall as David Wrench drives the ball up. The defence is solid again from ULKR. Clough shows the ball to Lawford. Good ball to Damien Ball, the captain. Tackled by Goddard. Well, Tanga Tatoa got a penalty for that in the first half. Ball not able to fool the referee as Adam Hayes steps inside, gets it back to Lawford. Lawford gives it to Penny. Penny out to Marcus George, and he's sees forward passes then. Didn't see the one that led to the second Hulkinson Rovers try, right under the gantry. Well, referee unhappy with the condition of the ball. And they brought the one back that he got rid of in the first half. Scrum will be fed by Webster when the referee is finally happy with both backs being down. This time it's Barker that's dropped to the standoff position. Looks to have packed a few pounds on Dwayne Barker. Probably a bigger frame than he was last season. Fullback Cockayne into the line again. John Fallon off and Tanga Tatoa back on. Barker to Stevenson. Barker acting half. Tanga Tatoa brought into the action almost immediately. Last tackle comes back to Morrell, who'll put the ball through on the floor. Haley will be forced to put that one out of the field of play, not taking any chances. It means that Halifax will have to defend again. Seem to be doing that for long periods of this game. Lawford's kick reaches Webster on halfway. He gives it to Tanga Tatoa, and he's met 25 metres out by Wrench and Clough, the two lone signings, and there's problems here for Halifax. There were shouts of a forward pass, but Morrison made the mistake anyway. Score remaining 26.28. Joel Penny waving away attention on that far side. The ball fires out of the back of the scrum, and Blackwood will get it for Halifax. So they must have been offside there. There's no question about that one. That's levelled up the penalties at 7 apiece. And much better angle on this occasion. Brings greater rewards as the ball is cleared around 40-45 metres. Jason Bolt's back on for Halifax. Clough from acting half bring Adam Hayes back on the inside, but nowhere for Hayes to go. Lawford looking for runners. Damien Ball falling as he took the pass. Joe Hurst, willing runner, up to the Rovers defence. Wants to get up and play it quickly. Clough to Lawford. Lawford with a crossfield kick, no pressure on that far side. Webster drops it, Rivette underneath it, manages to get up and have a second attempt, and he's got past two players and almost past Blackwood. Gets the ball back inside. The Rovers trying to keep the ball alive, and Rivette doing well considering the mistake by Webster there after the kick from Lawford. But the rest of his teammates not reading the script, as there was no pressure put on as Lawford put the crossfield kick on. And Webster making a mistake when he wasn't under pressure. Morrell gives the ball to Barker. Barker stopped by Lawford and Damien Ball just inside the Halifax half. Morrell tries once again to trouble Gibson and Haley. Gibson takes the ball, brings it 8 metres away from the line. Halifax players still coming back, so Haley will take the ball up on his own, gets over the 10 metre line. Andy Spink received treatment and back to full fitness, quickly back onto the field to replace Joe Hurst. Blackwood from acting half, still a pretty tight defence from Hull KR. Blackwood are happy at the attention he was receiving. Lawford gets the ball away, Webster will pick it up, and there could be a try on here, but Webster unable to get to his feet, but the mistake could give Rovers the momentum as Morrell comes back to the short side. Webster gives it to Barker, and Barker eventually hauled down 10 metres away. There are 3 men in at the tackle, which means that Halifax may be light in the defensive line. The players queuing up on that far side. Webster gives it to Makalayazu, and he's driven to the ground 8 metres away by Wrench and Kirk. Webster, Tanga to Tower. Gallagher having to stretch for what looked like a forward pass. Nothing coming Halifax's way from the official. Webster gives it to Morrell as he switches play back, and Barker comes off the shoulder of Morrell. Halifax still trying to keep Rovers out as Morrell puts the little kick through. Haley picks it up behind his own line and manages to bring the ball back into the field of play. And Haley's taking a late one there. Well, it's the story of the afternoon, because Halifax are not going to get anything from this referee as Gibson tries to drive the ball away. Bolts tries to drive it away. Rovers putting the pressure on, trying to drive the prop back. Halifax struggling to get away from their own line. Well, they're still not standing square behind the play of the ball. Tangatatora and Morrison almost side by side there as Webster leaves the field. Clough goes from acting half. And it's Tangatatora and Goddard who finally close Oka down. It's the last tackle as Penny fires the ball out wide. Marcus George with a lot of work to do, kicks over the top, the chase is on, but the fullback Ben Cockayne gets the bounce of the ball and sets off towards the Halifax line. David Wrench doing enough to put him down. Adam Hayes making him, well, he took him, Wrench had stopped him, Cockayne got up again and tried to continue the run, and Adam Hayes put him to the ground. Well, although Halifax's defence wasn't up to some of those early tries, they've certainly been put under the cost by the referee. Well, it's tough to beat Hull Kingston Rovers anyway. Nobody's managed to do it this season. In fact, Halifax were the last team to beat Hull Kingston Rovers in league football at the back end of last season. But when the referee is giving easy penalties away as much as Jamie Lee has this afternoon, then you really are up against it as Morrell fires the ball out to Cockayne into Morrison. That's an obstruction. And the full-back frustrated. There's no doubt about it. And Penny launches the ball into touch on the far side of the field. So Clough inside to Penny. Penny to Jason Bolts. Struggling to break down. The tackle of Barker and Azu. Lawford brings Hayes back on the inside. Andy Ellis on for Rovers. Last season's player of the year at hooker. They still went out and bought Ben Fisher. Lawford out to Penny. Penny round the back to Gibson. Gibson to Blackwood. And Blackwood fall into the tackle of Couturier on that far side. Penny looks for a way through. Already bust through one tackle and gets the ball away to Andy Spink. Andy Spink running across the defence. And Damien Ball being pulled back for the offside. Oh, an excellent chance there. But Damien Ball just stepping into the path and letting OKR off the hook, because that could have been a 4-pointer then. But Halifax creating a few more chances as they use a more expansive game. Macaulay Azu only knows one way, and that's forward. But Clough and Wrench forming the defensive wall that stops the big man from Papua New Guinea, Tangata Tower, just over halfway. Morrell gives it to Morrison, and Morrison is brought down, but Rovers making yards towards the Halifax line. Morrell around the back. Fisher trying to break through. Halifax sticking to the task. Damien Ball and Dean Lawford both, I think, appealing for a knock on there, as Morrell once again tries to trouble James Haley. Haley up to the task though. And Fisher quickly in as Lawford gives it to Adam Hayes. And Ulkingston Rovers are not making any attempt to get back the 10 again. Penalty count levelled up again. 9 apiece. Lawford making the best out of a narrow angle down this short side to put Halifax into the Rovers 40. And Byron Smith will charge on to the pass from Lawford. But the defence is good from Morrison. Penny to Spink. The ball goes forward. Halifax make yet another mistake. Oh, that's good defence from Andy Kirk, flying right out of the blocks from acting half. Tangata Tower throws the ball away. What looked again like only a couple of inches, but it looked forward. And there's a mistake, and Damien Ball will get the possession for Halifax and be taken late by the fullback Ben Cockayne. Well, it's alright when he's going forward, and he can do that, as he's proved this afternoon. But defensively, he's got a very short fuse. Adam Hayes. And Lawford screaming at his players as Halifax push towards that Rovers line. Can they come away with anything this time? Damien Ball to within 5 metres. Still the same score as it was at half time. 26.28. Clough fires it out to Gibson, but that one went straight up into the face of the fullback from his hands. It wasn't a bad pass. Well, it must be difficult to watch for Martin Hall, because his side are playing much better in this second half, throwing the ball about and getting down into the Rovers quarter of the field on several occasions. But the offside from Damien Ball, the mistake from Damien Gibson, are having well, there's no question about that high tackle on Azu. But the mistake's not doing the Halifax confidence any good. Getting in the position, not able to make anything out of the pressure. And this time, no question about Azu being taken high by Jason Bolts. And Rovers back at the halfway line as Morrison is well tackled by 3, just inside the halfway. Ellis gives it to Tangata Tower, and he falls on the 40-metre line, claims for the knock-on, waved away, and the referee, surprise, surprise, another penalty. Barker charges the ball up. Ellis to Fisher. Fisher a long pass to Morrell. Looks inside to find Cockayne. Gets away from Smith. Morrison stands in the way yet again, but this time gets away with it. Morton is the dummy runner. Ellis goes for the killer blow, but he's stopped. 3 metres short. Can Halifax hold on? Morrison speculator from acting half. Halifax tightening up this time. They've already fallen for that one once. Morrell looking for runners. Makalayazu takes the ball. Does well to keep hold of it. It was up by his shoulder. It's the last tackle. And Morrell kicks over the top. Will the ball go down? No, has it? The referee's gone behind the line. And the try will be awarded to Byron Ford despite the struggle behind the line. Ford's try will bring up the 30 for Hull Kingston Rovers. Well, that's the difference. They've had very few visits to the Halifax line in the second half. But the closest they've been on that occasion, they came away with the 4 points. It was a brave effort by Halifax to try and turn Ford over and hold him up, but to no avail. First points of a much improved second half for Halifax, who might have had more points had the handling not let them down, although the conditions have made the ball greasy. Well, the Robin supporters have managed to find something to sing about for the first time in this second half, as Morton fails with another attempt. It's Halifax 8, Hull Kingston Rovers 30. Haley opts for a shorter kick, and Marcus George has come up with the ball, and what's more has managed to make 7 or 8 metres when he got back on the ground as well. Byron Smith was missed by Tangata Tower. Byron Ford, the try scorer, it is that puts him down. Adam Hayes taking the pass from Penny, squeezes it out the back. Penny looks for the options, gets it to Lawford. Lawford to Byron Smith, and Smith stopped by 3. Dominic Brambani on for Halifax. Sparked a mini revival last week at Lee when he came on. Andy Spink steps out of the tackle and is clattered inches short of the line. Gibson, has he managed to squeeze in at the corner? No, it's the last tackle. Halifax will have to go for broke. Brambani kicks across the field. There's a mistake behind the line, but there's going to be another penalty, is that? Well, there isn't. It's said that Byron Smith's impact has forced the man touching goal, or behind the try line rather, and it will be a dropout under the post. He can't get Wimbledon final. Well, the referee having trouble with the earpiece. Well, that's suggests that the referee not only having trouble with his earpiece, he's had trouble with his eyesight this afternoon. I think in most other games you would find that that last movement would have been a penalty. It looked like the ball had been grounded back in the field of play. But Byron Smith went in, pushed the man back over, and it's Byron Smith stops the ball. Gibson picks it up for Halifax and drives it back into a two-man tackle. Jason Bolts loses possession once again. Well, it's been a curse for Halifax in the second half. The amount of possession they've lost. They have a break next week and play York in a fortnight. And playoff in the finishing the playoff position is not beyond Halifax even now, but they've actually had, or will have by the end of the July, will have played the top three teams. They came so close against Lee last week. They play Widnes in 3 weeks, and of course Hulkinson Rovers today, so not the kindest of programmes in July for Halifax. And although the tide is turning, Martin Hall might have just needed an easier programme to make that change easier. Penny picks it up from the back of the scrum, goes on his own, and then picks out Andy Kirk, who's unable to do anything because there were 3 defenders straight in and trying to take him over the touchline. Now Penny gives it to Adam Hayes, spinning out, gets the ball away in the tackle. Clough gets it to Penny. Penny offloads to Byron Smith, and Smith, well, he's still on his feet. He's bouncing off people like a pinball, and then he's lost possession again. Tanga Tatoa driving the ball up. Ellis gives it to Morton. Morton's clobbered just inside the Halifax half. Ellis nipping away from acting half. Morton pushes away from Bolts, tries to use him as an extra momentum. Smith stops him 22 metres out from the Halifax line. Tanga Tatoa over the heads of everybody, and Barker almost loses it. Penny trying to steal the ball. Last tackle. Morell off the side of the boot, and nobody appears to want it. And then the fullback Cockayne will put the kick away. And Hull KR have come out of that quite well, considering where the first kick went. Haley steps through 2. Fisher gets back to stop him. Gibson into Morell and Ellis. Brambane to Jason Bolts. Dragged down by Morell. Lawford turns it back inside, and Penny, the runner, Tanga Tatoa, having trouble putting him down. Clough have to go on his own. There's little or no support within passing distance. Last tackle. And Lawford will try and test Ford. And Ford doing well to keep hold of the ball. And Damien Ball just back on for Halifax. Byron Smith has left the field, and John Goddard has been clattered by Damien Ball, who is making his third consecutive tackle. Well, doesn't have any problem listening to the pleas of the Rovers supporters, doesn't the referee? As he awards the 10th penalty, which puts Halifax back on the defence. And Barker charging forward, stopped by Kirk. Ellis to Fisher. As you charging onto the ball, can't keep hold of it. Well, very unusual to see Rovers making so many mistakes. But Halifax's defence being much better in this second half. Only conceding the one try so far. Andy Spink drives it forward, trying to hold players off. Morrell all over Spink. Oh, you are joking! You're joking! Dean Lawford complains to the referee saying that Spink had hold of the shirt. The tackle, I think, had already been made after Morrell had come in. And so Morton will take the opportunity of another 2 points. Kicked 3 from 6. This one well within the range. And over. For the first conversion of the second half, the fourth of the game. He extends the lead. It's Halifax 8, Hull Kingston Rovers 32. Haley goes for the short kick again, and the ball goes backwards and has probably just about finished up where it would have done anyway. And Blackwood penalised for the tackle on Fisher, but Fisher is facing his own post. Blackwood's gone for the man with the ball, and the referee once again reacting to the Hull Kingston Rovers supporters behind that line. It's had no ill effect on Ben Fisher, who got straight to his feet and in fact has been given the ball to kick into touch. Well, he's making a bit of a mockery of the game. It's a physical game. Blackwood did what he should have done. Hammered the man with the ball and got penalised for it. Fisher gives it to Stevenson, then to Cockayne. Morton brings Barker on the inside, and it will end on the 40-metre line, but Barker squeezes the ball out to Goddard. Goddard clattered by Spink, and they're appealing for another illegal tackle. Well, he hit him hard, he went into the chest, and there was nothing more to it than that. Ellis to Gallagher. Gallagher flattened 9 metres away. Halifax looking to hold out for this one last tackle as Cockayne drifts it off the outside of his foot, and it's come back off a Halifax man. And now look at Hull KR with a penalty for Fisher, who was a man that was clattered by Blackwood. And Fisher, the former Halifax player, Gets the 7th Hull KR try, but not after a touch of luck as a ball fired back off Halifax player. I think it was James Haley. Well, Justin Morgan has said this week that Hull Kingston Rovers are not playing well. Well, he's quite right, because they did enough in the first half to win the game. And the supporters obviously not used to the physical aspects, because there's been some big hits gone in. As Morton converts his 5th goal to make it Halifax 8, Hull KR 38, with about 5 minutes to go. Haley once again. Halifax go for the short one. There are plenty of bodies underneath it. There's a mistake by a Rovers player. It'll be a knock on surely. Well, the ball looked to go backwards. Hull Kingston Rovers right to disagree with the decision as Lawford kicks through for Gibson, and Big Gibson, all he has to do is collect the ball, score the 4 points, and Halifax managed to breach the defence. And Gibson on his return after an 8-week layoff, perfect kick from Lawford. And it's try time for Halifax, not a hand on the fullback as he went through. Lawford saw nobody at home, and the ball holding up perfectly for the fullback Gibson to go over and score. James Haley adds on the conversion. A small reward for Halifax after a much improved second half in which they've only conceded 2 tries, one under controversial and circumstances as far as a penalty on Fisher, but the way that he scored off a ball that ricocheted around. Simpson at full belt. Makalayazu is knocked back by the big prop. That doesn't happen very often. But Simpson took the ball at full belt as you felt the full impact. As Brambani gets it to Kirk. Kirk trying to exploit any gap there is round the back of the defence, but not finding one. David Wrench charging forward, steps through the first attempt of Ellis. Oh, that's a mix up there, a little bit of lack of communication. Damien Ball takes the inside pass from Lawford. Lawford chips over the top again. Penny chases it, gets it to Clough, and Clough is brought down 10 metres away from the line. The last tackle. Rovers still coming back, and Kirk goes down, knocked off balance by Cocaine. It needed a quicker reaction. Jamie Lee stood with his hand in there for long enough. I think Kirk perhaps might have got away with getting up and tried to play that one on. Byron Ford not happy at the attention of Damien Ball and John Simpson, but Simpson not particularly bothered, getting on with the work with David Wrench in for another tackle on Dwayne Barker. Rivette gives the ball over to David Wrench. Well, it came with a ball on that one. Wrench gleefully accepting the possession. Brambini. Good ball out to Andy Spink. Spink brought down on the 10 metre line. Marcus George. Give it to Brambini. Simpson has another go at that defensive line. It takes 3 to stop him. Clough to Brambini. Long pass out to Lawford. Lawford has runners on this side. Penny's one of them, and Penny just not big enough to get himself over that line. Stopped by Tanga to Tower. Kirk to Lawford. Lawford to Brambini, and Brambini fancies a go on his own. Hauled down 7 metres away. Options on that far side. Rovers looking light in defence. Now they're sliding across as Lawford gets the pass out to Spink. But the defence numbers up on the last tackle. Lawford will try the kick, and Gallagher will come up with it. There's a wrestle on around the post, and Gallagher eventually goes down, and Wrench has been penalised. Gallagher wins a penalty. Rovers making yards forward with Stevenson up towards the 40 metre line. Morton stopped by Simpson eventually. As you been kept quiet up to his normal standards this afternoon. The final hooter sounds a much improved second half performance from Halifax. Too many mistakes in the end, but the conditions not helping for fast flowing rugby. But Halifax did a good job on slowing the Robins down in the second half from 26 points to 8 scoreline. Rovers adding only 2 tries to that one from Ford from a speculative kick on the last tackle. Ben Fisher on the end of a bouncing ball at it. James Haley went back over the Halifax line after Fisher had been brought down just moments earlier by Blackwood in a big tackle, for which Hull KR got the penalty. Just one penalty, a conversion for Morton, and the biggest cheer of the afternoon as far as Halifax were concerned, saved for Damien Gibson on his return after 8 weeks, latching onto a perfectly weighted kick from Lawford. Haley converting. Better second half performance, but Hull KR had it sewn up at half time. The final score: Halifax 14, Wilkinson Rovers 38.